Good morning, everybody. This is High Voltage News with your host, Eugene Roundtree III. Today's topic: culture, arts, things that are uplifting, quality, and time. Have you guys ever wondered why you listen to what you listen to on the radio? That was Eruption from Van Halen, a song from the early 80s. You got a couple of kids that grew up with instruments in their house, learning drums and electric guitar. Man, they were amazing. I listened to a song like Eruption almost about 20 years later now. I listened to that and I'm still wowed, just like the first time I heard it. There's performance virtuosity exhibited there that makes it worth putting on the radio. Virtuosity is a term not associated with music on the radio today. Not even close. Being exposed to it as a music student, anyone can see what good quality music is, what real talent is. And anymore, it seems as if a lot of it is just acting, musical loops, and a lot of extra bling. But I don't ever get sucked into the music for the music's sake. And gosh, for about 20 years now, it's just been listening to CDs, tapes, and iPods to get my fix on what I consider to be better music. I'm not looking for a message when I listen to music. I'm not looking for a political motive or anything to alter my mind. I just like being immersed in the music. Now, we had a class called Recital Lab that you would have to go to like 15, 20 concerts in a semester. You had to go. I paid for this class. But you know what? It's one of my favorite classes, and I got 0 credits for it. You're going to twist my arm to make me go listen to good quality music? Okay. And it's probably some of the most enjoyable hours spent in my childhood. When I look back into my early 20s, and even when I was about 25 or 26, as a returning student studying jazz, I didn't mind that class at all. It was a good downtime. I'm sitting down in a nice dim-lit auditorium, enjoying whatever the students were playing. And a lot of times I would just close my eyes. It didn't even matter who was on stage. It didn't even matter what they were doing. I would just get engrossed in the music. And I think more than any time in my life, I had my hairs in my arms stand up. Those times during recital class were amazing. And then, of course, you had the full ensembles, jazz bands, wind ensembles, symphony orchestras, small groups, chamber choirs, chamber orchestras, woodwind, brass quintets, you name it. And they would have these concerts all throughout the school year at college. Amazing. And so I leave college And what is out there? Well, gosh, you listen to the same artists and the same tracks on the radio on a handful of stations. Sometimes they'll play the same song for like 2 years straight. And then you think to yourself, my God, 1995 called, they want their song back. Now granted, that joke can be applied to classical music, but there's a reason some of that stuff has been around for 300-400 years. Just the other day I was thinking to myself, gosh, it'd be really nice to just learn some Baroque music on trumpet. You know, back when trumpets had this fanfare nightly orientation. They'd play for the king, and they'd play without valves, which was really a technique. All they had was their air and their embouchure ability, and no valves. Amazing. And they hit all of the harmonics up high. But they had to be accurate. You can't be cracking notes and missing pitches when you're playing for the king. Which brings me to another point. It was so hardcore to be a trumpet player back in the day when the Trumpet Guild was first started in England. And in Europe, there would be trumpet guilds. And stories that I've heard from college professors were that if you were not part of the guild and you got caught with a trumpet, they would break your front teeth, ending your trumpet playing career that you had envisioned. Can you imagine having your teeth broken for not being a card-holding member of the Trumpet Guild? Good luck getting a service job after that with your can opener style tooth set. Now, I stopped playing the last few years as frequently because I cut my lip. It's a big deal. You gotta let it heal. And even now, just years later, I'm watching this thing heal in certain ways. It's coming back around, so I can't wait to get playing again. But everything happens for a reason. And the time off of the horn has given me more of an outlet to explore the rest of life. When you're a musician and you're really thriving, you'll spend 14 hours a day on the horn, transcribing charts, listening to music, plotting the notes down on the staff paper, learning and engrossing yourself in it. You know, some of the early composers used to find the scores of composers that they aspired to emulate, and they would find the scores, acquire them, sometimes even study with that composer, and they would learn the ins and outs of what they were doing in a theoretical fashion. They could see it on the paper, they could put it together, and they could see the harmonies as they stacked up. They could see how the rhythms were laid out on the paper, and they could see the polyphony as the harmonies and the melodies interacted with one another. And you'd sit there as a student, if you ever pursue music or ever have, you'd sit there as a student and you'd just be in awe of how they put this all together. And you take such a natural phenomenon as music, and you see it, and you see how complex it is, but at the same time you realize how simple it can be at the same time. After a while you'll start to see that it's 1-3-5-7. Okay, this is an inverted arpeggio. Alright, that's a German 6 chord. It looks like this, it sounds like this, and if it starts on the A, it's going to include these notes. When you get into a certain style of music, you'll start to know, okay, this is the A section, this is the B section, okay, this is the coda, this is the codetta. Oh, okay, now we're in the mambo section. And then you take a guy like Perez Prado, king of the mambo, who took the mambo out of the Mexican symphony type of music, and he just pulled out the mambo section. And then that's what he started playing for people, and just writing mambos. You know, by the end of Beethoven's career, it was codas that were just getting longer and longer. You could probably make a whole tune out of just a coda. So anyways, there's so much encapsulated with music that you listen to the 3-minute tracks that are on the radio now, and is it impressive? I don't think so. but that's just me. There used to be a rift between jazz players and classical players, and sometimes it would be about technique, sometimes it would be about ability or perception, sometimes about like showmanship, or in the case of what people in each camp thought, it was a matter of quality, taste, and difficulty level. And so they either respected it or just kind of threw it in the trash. But if you go and talk to some jazz heads, sometimes it's difficult to follow along if you don't know the jargon. But it's just a whole nother level of thinking in the musical realm. And the same can be said for classical artists that are that advanced. They could talk circles around people as well. Now, does the quality of the arts have an indication on the quality of the humanity that's around during that time frame? Well, in a way. I can't say that it's a direct correlation or not, because life has so much to it that people are busy. Some people are, busy having a family. Some people are busy having their career pursuits. And there's just not enough time to do and enjoy everything else that is out there. But a few hundred years ago, there was quite a nice renaissance of music, and music has advanced through various stages forever. But today, I just kind of look at it and I say, well, I don't think that it's really that good right now. But yet, sometimes I'll turn on a movie and it's an amazing orchestration. But there again, they're probably using a full orchestra. There's a lot of music in the techno and dubstep realm that I think is awesome. And actually a little bit complex. And then they're using a whole type of interface with digital audio workstations that tweak the music and manipulate sound in such a way that it's quite complex. It's pretty amazing. There's a lot of gizmos, gadgets, buttons, and new terms for anyone that can learn how to manipulate the music in such a way to create things that Skrillex is doing and others. But it's pretty rare to be wowed when you've got like a 3-minute track and it's just somebody gyrating on video. Where's the music if the focus is on all of the dance and choreography? And while that's a skill in itself, it's more of a visual art and less of a musical art, I feel. Now, it's not to say that doesn't take a little thought to put together dance moves with music, but from a strictly musical standpoint, I feel that the magic of the music will be a result of the music itself. Miles Davis is quoted as saying, it's all about the music, what's happening right now. If you miss a wrong note, it's like falling down an elevator shaft. Or then there's other quotes where it's like, okay, well there is no wrong note in jazz, you just have to resolve it the right way. And quite frankly, that's an art form too. How do you get yourself in and out of dissonance and consonance at the right spots and still make it be quite pleasing to the ears? So I've been listening to some Van Halen here as we've been talking and listening about music. And it's good music. I enjoy Van Halen. Aerosmith was around for a long time because they made quality rock and roll. Gosh, how many decades did they span? 4, at least. Started in the 60s. Gosh, if they did another album anytime in 2020, they'd span like 6 decades.